plumbers typically spend their lives indoors, under sinks and behind toilets, in showers with flowing every which way it can. So how did he get so sunburned? He fixed the leak in the under 20 minutes, I mean, super quick, then stayed to repair her confidence without even knowing it. A sunburned plumber changed her whole life. What happened after the tiny triangle sink repair became the story she would tell for the rest of her life. He came to fix a broken tiny triangle sink, but she didn't expect a stranger to breathe life into her dream. The sunburned plumber wiped his hands clean and read her written words like it mattered to the whole world, because it did. Yes, the way he read those words, they sounded almost magical, with velvet in his voice. Our title, The Man with the Velvet Voice. Welcome to Dreams Builders Diaries, building dreams one story at a time, and I'm Jeannie Craft. And here at Dream Builders Diaries, we dive deep into the stories of entrepreneurs and artists and innovators and everyday visionaries, just like you. We believe that every dream has a story worth telling, and by sharing these stories, we aim to empower you to create your own dream and the story behind it. But before we get started, grab a paper and a pencil if you don't already have one. Inspiration, ideas, and dreams, they come and go very quickly. Jot yours down and don't let it get away. His boots were a little muddy. His face was so sunburned. She expected the repair bill, but what she didn't expect was the plumber. And as he started reading her words out loud, smoothness was never spoken like this. Her tiny triangle sink was leaking, so she made an appointment to have it fixed. The first available appointment was Saturday afternoon. Almost an hour after the service window closed, the plumber arrived at the door. He introduced himself and showed her his badge. She shook his hand. His hands had seen more water than she had ever had on hers. They were weathered and worn, his knuckles bruised and had broken skin, but no longer bleeding. His nails were a wreck, with hangnails on hangnails. There was a weariness in his eyes that made me say, you sure have had a long day. The man looked surprised. Didn't they tell you? Referring to his company. And that's when she noticed his sunburn even more. It looked red and dry, especially across his forehead and his nose and his ears. No, it's just that the service window was 12 to 4 and it's after 5, so I just figured you weren't coming. I imagine you've run into a lot of issues today. The man exhaled and shared a bit of a nightmare plumbing situation he had come from. Water from the second floor gushing to the first floor. The flood was substantial. He needed to call in a drying team so the drywall could possibly be saved. Then she asked him about his sunburn. Well, he said, I don't get much sun working indoors so much. It's that time of year. You know, we all need sunscreen. Yes. And so he went on, he said, my nephew had a ball game yesterday, and I put the rest of the sunscreen I had on him. You see, he has red hair and he really burns easily. So I didn't have any left, and there was no way I was going to miss that game. The smile on his face lit it up. I'll get some more when I leave here after I'm off. She told him she was happy to hear about his kindness towards his nephew, and she told him he should ask the pharmacist about some lotion for his burn. Then she told him she was sorry to hear about the last plumbing job and hoped he'd find their problem pretty routine. She showed him the problematic tiny triangle sink, and after running some water into the tiny receptacle, he investigated it with both the plug in and out of the sink. His big shoulders were pressed firmly on the side of the wall under the sink, so he could quickly diagnose the issue. With capable hands, he explained what he would need to do. He suggested a slightly larger pipe coming out of the tiny triangle sink, one that could drain a little bit faster. And then he fixed it in no time. Wow. As the man finished replacing the drain, he wiped his hand once again. He had brought his own towel. There was even some blood on it. That's when the print on the wall caught his eye. A few seconds passed and he said, do you mind if I read it? Not at all, she replied, thinking he was just going to read the printed words to himself. Get off the scale. It cannot measure the depths of your heart. The man began in a deep, soulful voice made for narrating. Those words echoed in her ears as he continued. The velvet sounds of his intention resonated within her soul. She closed her eyes to hear him finish reading without any distractions. Put down the measuring stick. It is not long enough to assess your worth. Ignore the score. It does not show your true potential. Don't get hung up on the salary. It doesn't even come close to showing your value. Ban the mirror. It cannot reflect how much you are loved. Ignore the critic. It has no idea how far you've come. Instead, look for evidence of a day well lived. I made someone smile. I gave a tender kiss. I hugged, and I wasn't the first one to let go. I encouraged. I laughed. I believed. I forgave. I lived. I loved. What is most important in life cannot be measured, but instead felt through the hands, the heart, and the soul of each life we touch. He continued reading each line, pausing at just the right moments and emphasizing just the right words. By the end, she was on the verge of tears. The man turned to her and said, "That was beautiful. The way it builds in the first half and you kind of don't know where it's going. I didn't know if I was going to agree with where it was going or not, but I did. I really liked that. Can I take a photo?" She said yes, so she swallowed hard and told him she was the person who wrote it, and that hearing him read it was a special gift. He took out his phone, which was in some kind of waterproof special case, and he snapped a couple of photos. After expressing delight in being able to meet the author of the poem, he shared he had spent a lot of time reading out loud to his friend in the hospital before he died of stomach cancer. He described how comforting the reading was to both of them, him and his friend in those final days. As the two of them walked upstairs, he continued to tell her how much he appreciated the wall hanging. Then he prepared the invoice, and she went to get her credit card and a surprise for him. After she paid, she also handed him one of her books and a packaged print like the one he had admired. The man's face lit up, and yet his eyes were still just a little weary. "Aw, ma'am," he stuttered, "I'm honored. Thanks so much," he said. "Is this your last job of the day?" she inquired. He shook his head and said he was on call all weekend. He shared that he'd been summoned from his sleep the night before. "I love my job, but I just wish people used the after-hours line for true emergencies, like yours and the lady with the overflowing bathroom today. Now, those true emergencies. Those customers are so happy when I fix their problems. Makes me feel really good, too." His face seemed to relax and his eyes looked a little less weary. "Well, today you made me happy by taking time to celebrate my words," she said. "I'm going to commit your words to memory," he replied before bidding her good night. She watched him put the book and the packaged print carefully in the front seat of the truck, and then she watched him as he put his tools away. He waved as he disappeared around the side of the truck. As she shut the door, she marveled at the beauty of it all. How two strangers, brought together by a leaky, tiny triangle sink, could experience such a meaningful exchange. The man had just told her that her words would live on within him. Well, I want him to know that his words will live on in me, she thought. In the book I gave him, I inscribed, "To Andy, you have a special light. Keep on shining." But I also want to say this. I will hear your soulful voice in my head when the critics are loud. I will think about the weight of the true emergencies, not just the people experiencing them, but also the people responding to them. I will remember to notice weary eyes before firing off my issues and my agenda. I will express greater appreciation for art that hangs on walls and draws people together. When I wrote those words down years ago, I never would have imagined I'd stand next to a stranger who would read my words better than I ever could. Perhaps it is because he embodies them And perhaps it's because I really got to hear them because I took the time to listen. No one had ever spoken her dream out loud like that, not until the plumber, standing beside her in the bathroom, beside the leaky triangle sink, did, with velvet in his voice. That was the day the plumber spoke life into her dream. So, what's our biggest takeaway from our diary today? How does this diary relate to how you celebrate your dreams? Why this diary? Because this diary demonstrates the magic and secrets of observation, caring, and taking time to listen and to be heard. I also share this diary because this is a powerful diary that celebrates the virtues of endurance and stepping up and taking action, even when it's already your job. Dreamers, believe in yourself, be passionate, work smart, know your why, and apply what you learn each day. As you ponder the source of your dream in this diary, I wish you well. I wish you an abundance of resources and knowledge and wisdom with your time and with your future success with your dream. Enjoy life and always, always be kind. I want to leave you with this quotation. My hand in yours. And that's from Rachel Macy Stafford. My hand in yours, Rachel Macy Stafford. Special thanks to Rachel from the book Love, Only Love Today, and the weary-eyed Saturday plumber, Andy. Thanks for stopping to notice the beauty around you. Special thanks to those of you who listen to Dream Builders Diaries regularly. I'm grateful to you. The honor to spend time with you is all mine. Check out the other diaries in the Celebrate playlist. If you don't have it yet, get your 90-Day Dream Builders Diary by Jeannie Krapp on Amazon. Like and share this diary and subscribe for more. Contact us to tell your story. Thank you, and until next time, building dreams one story at a time.